God. What? A lot going on. Hey, first off, congratulations to Bubba Wallace. He won the rain-delayed Talladega race yesterday, which got rained out. But Bubba Wallace won.
Yay.
Woo. At the track where there was supposedly a noose last year.
Sweet. Right, where they try to pull a motion. They're like, in your face!
Which in reality, it wasn't a noose. It was the same, you pull down the garage door, but it was shaped as a noose. But it wasn't intended for Bubba Wallace.
But it was formed as a noose nonetheless, and it wound up on his garage pool, which is just a little coincidental, possibly.
Right, and NASCAR gathered behind him. They did that thing where all the drivers were on the track last year behind him, and this was like one of the first podcasts we did when this happened. And just congratulations. Couldn't have happened at a better track for him. We're trying to shy away from the politics and bullshit.
Thank gosh.
Lately.
Yeah.
But
good job, Bubba.
On the race previously, 2 days before, it was another race that was shortened because it rained and gotten dark out. And a guy, Brandon Brown, won the race. And people were shouting, "Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Joe Biden." The Fox Sports reporter who was interviewing Brandon Bryan was just like saying, "Oh, they're chanting, 'Let's go, Brandon,'" which if you listen to it, you're like, okay, yeah, that is. But until the next day when it came out, and they were going to fuck Joe Biden. Now, here's my problem with that.
What's the forum?
Here's my problem.
Those are the people who don't want vision, dental, and hearing added to Medicare. Okay, guys? No. Those are the dumbest people on the planet.
Maternity leave.
No, but
why would you not want that added?
No, those are the same people that at the
pro-life, but won't get a vaccination.
No, but wait. But the Grammy Awards last year, Trevor Noah said, "Hey, if you have little kids in the room, tell them this song is about a wet cat that got stuck in the rain," and they played WAP. Right? But the next day, you have fucking Tucker Carlson on Fox News saying, "Oh, the kids were exposed to that," because WAP.
Yeah, Megan the Stallion.
Cardi B.
No, Megan the Stallion.
Oh, I thought it was Cardi
Megan
B.
the Stallion, and
Fox News.
She might make it. She might do it. Apparently, Cardi B.
Okay, well, whatever.
But it's Megan the Stallion.
I'm on the phone. I'm going to call her right now.
But these are the people that preach family values. Okay,
right.
Family values. Oh, the kids shouldn't be exposed to that. But you're chanting "fuck Joe Biden" at the track
with your kids sitting next to you, chanting along,
sitting at the track.
Yeah, you're telling your kids to fuck
disrespect
the president of the United States.
And Fox News is on there criticizing the reporter that's interviewing Brandon Brown because she goes, "Oh, they're saying, 'Let's go, Brandon,' because she was trying to deflect from fuck Joe Biden." Right. So they're criticizing her for changing the narrative, but these are the same people that are saying, "Oh, the kids."
Right.
And it's not right.
And if you really think about it, WAP is just a female script. I mean, for how many decades have we been listening to rap talk about men and their junk and getting pussy? And all the WAP is a female taking her power and saying, "This is what I got."
It's just like the song, "My Neck, My Back."
Right. Yeah.
No, but even better, the most conservative rock star out there, Ted Nugent, Uncle Ted. We love to talk about him on this podcast. Wang dang sweet poo-tang.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, the kids. The kids.
Right. Right.
Well, they're the party of hypocrisy, so...
Hey, what do we expect?
What are you going to do? I mean, we can do it. You can't. That enough said. Like we're allowed to do
that's
it.
the
When you
litmus
do
test
it,
for the
we're holding
Republican
you up
Party
to
right now.
standards.
Is if you fall in line behind Trump. That's
and
it.
Why,
Forget
and we're going to get away from politics in just a second here. But the reason why people were mad at Bubba Wallace last year was because he had the audacity to say that maybe the Confederate flag shouldn't be flown at the track. Now, granted, this is Talladega, Alabama.
So?
Might not be the place to do that.
It's still USA, right?
But Bubba Wallace was born in Alabama and the first black driver to win since 1963. Now, a little bit of history on NASCAR because you guys aren't up on that. The first driver to win was Wendell Scott in 1963. Okay? Because of racial tensions back then, he was not given the trophy in Victory Lane. They would not allow that. Until last year, with Bubba Wallace, was able to get the trophy to the family. Now, Bubba was directly responsible for that, too. So Bubba Wallace was second driver to win, the first since 1963. So goddamn fucking congratulations. Who cares if it's rain short? He fucking raced his ass off, and he fucking deserves this more than anybody, especially at that fucking track.
Final.
Cheers
to
you,
Bubba Wallace.
Yeah. There we go, man.
All right.
There's
Bubba.
Michael. That was a really good...
Bubba, come on the podcast.
That was really great.
We're reaching out.
All right, so fucking let's introduce everybody. We got Snow as always, my great co-host.
Yay!
Who won the pizza contest tonight?
I did. When you were talking about congratulations, I was being a little selfish. I thought you meant for my pizza.
I do mean for your pizza.
Well,
The Chicago dog style pizza with Bootsy's Delta Funk, Pineapple Express. Snow knocked it out of the park.
I know. I finally perfected it because last time I tried and I fell flat on my face, but this time I did a much better job.
Are we allowed to talk about
PETA, I'm glad I could do your sauce justice.
Bootsy's Delta Funk.
You said Pineapple Express on pizza.
Yeah. So that's the name of the latest Bootsy's sauce. They named it Pineapple Express because it's infused with pineapple, right?
Right, pineapple mustard.
Pineapple mustard. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was going to be
Medicated.
like on a level.
I tried to.
All right.
Medicated.
like the movie.
Medicated. Yeah. Seth Rogen, my God.
That reference to Pineapple Express.
I tried a pork pizza and used the hottest funk, and
it would have been great. It was just freaking hot.
It was just a little too hot.
Folks, just so you know, if you are going to try to make some pizzas with PETA sauces, if you're going to use the hottest funk, maybe just do a drizzle over the top. That stuff is powerful.
Or dilute it.
Very, 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 very spicy.
I'll be
or if you like the spice, then knock yourself out.
If you like the spice.
Okay. So, joining us, we got Christopher Eden.
Hello.
Okay,
Hello.
first time in, it's been about a year.
About a year, yeah. Good to see you again.
Trisha, and it's been about a year too.
It's been a minute for sure. Hey.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Too bad we don't have a visual, guys. You should see both of their hair. Both of them have super cool hair today.
Me and her? Oh.
Me too. I think.
No, her
Trisha has braids. Trisha's rocking some braids.
Yeah, I got some braids.
I'm rocking the white
and Chris is like a straight up salt and pepper fox today.
Single plate.
Oh, thank you.
I think they call it plats. I don't know.
I think he's copying me. Although I'm going more gray than I've got more silver than
whatever comes out in the shower.
Right?
That's the cool thing with this. So fast to get ready, and I wash it once a week. Just dry shampoo the part that is not braided. Rock it, and if I want to I can put it up in a ponytail. I can bun it. I can.
It looks awesome there, up in there.
Yeah, and you even have charms hanging from parts of it too. Yeah. It's like hair earrings. It's cool. I love it.
Hair bedazzled.
Bedazzled.
I guess I got some flavor.
You're kicking flavor.
Yeah.
So, how did we know that this podcast was going to happen because of the Facebook going down yesterday?
All right.
Oh.
The
I still
world.
kept it
Everybody
my-
acts like the world was ending. Dude.
Well,
I was
Well,
just
all
like,
right. Conspiracy.
Really?
I am not a conspiracy theorist.
Michael speaks
But-
again.
60 Minutes. They do an interview with a whistleblower
Mm-hmm.
that they were saying, well, Facebook, sort of likes to promote the hate, promote the negativity. Because
The non-factual news that people believe and dive into.
Right.
yeah, they don't.
Which is-
They don't do any like fact checking. They don't care if it's true or not. It's
Scopes.
just if it's popular or paid for.
Scopes.com.
But then,
Snopes.
like, when they're doing their research, because of the algorithms, if they're still going through Facebook to do this
Right.
research,
They're only getting fed what they know they want to see.
Well,
No,
Facebook's
no.
algorithms
Basically,
are
they're-
just going to point them towards sites in which they already click on that stuff. Hey, I'm a person, like, I guess you could call me kind of strict. I no longer am even on Facebook. Once the whistleblower came out, I was like, I'm done.
Oh, really?
Like, well, because I'm like, then I went and looked at myself. I'm like, bitch.
I haven't
like,
watched that
you don't-
episode yet. I'll
I'm
have
like,
to check it out.
bitch, you don't shop at Walmart because of the awful things that they do. Like, I don't want to be a part of it. I'm gonna hold out. I'm not to say that I won't go back on social media. Like, I will go back on social media if somebody can come up with a decent site where, and then the whole day.
MySpace,
So the whole day I'm
Friendster.
listening, right? Right.
MySpace friends.
Tom, bring back
Tom.
MySpace.
Right, come on, Tom, where are
My
you?
number one friend.
That was
You know,
right.
MySpace ruled because you could design your own page.
Hey.
And
like,
you
have
could-
your own
you could put
videos
graphics.
there.
And you could put your own like theme
The thing-
song on
Yeah.
there.
The problem was your top 10 friends. If you change that, you would get shit.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Top
I
10
don't even
friends.
remember, dude.
Your friends would
I'm
get all
You're-
mad.
you're-
They'd get all sad
Oh,
if you
okay.
like move them.
You know, I
They'd rearrange them. They'd be like, okay, Tom's our number one default. But then you had...
okay,
so-
yeah. It's I don't know.
I
I know. I think I booted Tom.
I had
I'm
invite
like he's
from
everybody's.
everybody.
I deleted Tom because
Yeah.
I was like,
It was
I'm
like
sick
this-
of Tom's being like everybody's friend.
Hey!
Like I thought I was special.
Hey,
Bye, Tom.
right?
I know.
That's where I was at too.
But changing your top 10 friends list.
If you moved them around.
Holy crap. it
That's
was
where
like,
I started
what do
to
you think
teach
you do?
myself HTML. Actually,
Yep. I have coding beyond coding.
Yeah, I mean that was
crazy.
that was cool. You know, you designed
It was
your own
fun,
page
yeah.
and shit.
But so
big
like,
ass, like...
oh, sorry.
No,
Go
go
ahead. Like the whole day that they're talking about this news story, like, and they're playing more and more clips from the whistleblower, and then they're playing like these senators going,
Yeah, but
"Well, Zuckerberg needs to come and talk in front of Congress," and I'm like, "Whoa, wait a second! I keenly remember when he did that during the elections and tried to say that they didn't promote any misinformation," and I was like, this guy is already a fucking robot. I mean, when I saw him talk, he's like very like. Doesn't he
Yeah.
already look like he's AI?
Well,
like he's
well,
already AI.
I agree
yeah,
with you there.
what's
Yeah.
Max
He's
Headroom?
weird.
Max
Yeah.
Headroom in the 80s.
But not
I
as
miss
cool.
Max
But not as
Headroom.
cool. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Max Headroom was cool. Like he drank Coca-Cola.
and he did the hold
like,
it to the Twitch thing.
Yeah. Like his
But
twitching.
Zuckerberg is like a living, breathing.
Well, no, I
Lame
I
Max
compared like Dr.Evil
Like
from the
Melinda
Austin Powers
Gates.
movies.
Yeah.
$1
It was
billion.
scary. That was scary though, seeing
Well-
it on TV. I was like, what? As a kid, I was like, damn, who is this guy? Like Max Headroom.
Yeah, and he couldn't even be bothered with being interviewed, right? Like, I guess they were like trying to call him out, and he's been sailing.
Oh,
Like,
But I mean,
I'm sailing
I'm sorry,
I'm
guys.
sailing
Congress,
away.
I'll be back with you when I dock.
when I'm off of my cruise.
I've said this for a while though, that it's the social media that created the political environment we're in.
well,
Yeah, that's what they were talking about
That's
all day.
okay. So
I love that.
if
and
you
they
watch-
created 1/6. Their Facebook is like basically responsible for what happened on.
well,
Yeah.
sure, but if you watch like the
Yeah.
stuff with Roger Ailes created the environment that we're in and
Well,
used
no,
social media to
act-
spread.
Actually, if we want to go back that far into history and fucking dive into
Breitbart
politics,
started
No,
a lot and then died.
Ronald Reagan
Reagan.
was the one who got rid of the fairness doctrine.
Okay, but who was pulling Ronald Reagan's strings?
Right.
Daddy Bush.
Yeah.
That's right. Dun, dun, dun. The blood thickens.
Wait a second, though.
God
Daddy
damn.
Bush
God
was
damn,
his
though,
VP.
But God,
Yes.
hey,
But he was the one pulling the strings. He was also a director of the FBI before.
Because you mean Ronald Reagan already had dementia at that point,
heck,
and we still let him be president.
And he was just a Hollywood actor, really, who thought he knew what he was talking about because he had some
Plastic
money and
smile,
wanted to keep
on
it.
that note, though, whenever George Bush Jr. comes out now, I'm like,
That's
God
Daddy Bush
damn, I
too.
miss that guy.
All I
Me
can hear is
too.
him pumping
And he
the
sounds
fuse.
so like empathetic.
Pathetic, yeah.
Yeah, he's a total empath now.
Like he's
his
like,
last
I feel so
speech,
bad for
his last speech, like, and then go figure, all the conservatives are up in arms. George W.
He's
is
a rhino.
fucking liberal now.
He's a
blah, blah, blah.
rhino.
I'm like, and we're just kind of like,
Well, I think it's the painting. It gives you that.
sounds
It opens that
reasonable.
other side of your brain.
Yeah.
So if you sound reasonable,
Left side,
you're
right
a raging
side, left
liberal
side, right
nowadays.
side, left side, right
Right?
side,
That is
right.
that the lesson we're to learn from it?
Look,
We have our
look,
left sides
look,
and our right sides.
if
I don't
you're-
even catch
If
it. I
you're
can't catch it
educated,
anymore.
you're indoctrined.
Yeah, amen.
You're a doctor?
Yes, because
Indoctrined.
educators are
Indoctrined.
indoctrinating.
Because
Whatever.
the
Words are hard.
system
Indoctrinate.
created the
Indoctrinate.
information
Is that a word?
that you've been fed through your education, so you've been indoctrinated.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There you
no,
go.
yeah, it's true.
She's
Totally true.
filled-
No, I was having to bring this full circle back to Bubba Wallace
Oh yeah,
and the fuck Joe Biden.
No, even more like how
when
word
when
you
I
hear.
when I shook, I have a conservative
Thank
roommate.
you. I don't want to.
My roommate's conservative, and when I played him back, the fuck Joe Biden, I was like, this isn't right. He goes, yeah, that's just as bad as the professors in college indoctrinating the students. I'm just like,
You mean doing their job?
false equivalency. Fuck, we weren't gonna talk politics. Damn it.
Politics
You know,
on podcast.
It must be my perfume. It follows me.
No politics on podcast.
Crazy. Okay, then what's the next topic?
We were
Fuck
talking-
Mark
we were
Zuck.
introducing-
Fuck Mark Zuck.
Fuck up.
Oh shit.
What about the offspring?
Do not delete our podcast because we need a Reality Redemption Facebook page to promote this. Okay,
Why
so
don't you
I'm
have-
sorry, Mark.
Why
We,
don't
we really do
Why
like your
don't you have one
platform.
Yeah.
We do need
We
you,
do
like you
like the
pointed out
platform.
earlier in your
Yeah,
speech
we're sorry, Mark.
when you addressed how much everybody needed Facebook to stay
You need-
connected.
I mean-
I don't need you.
I
I have friends that I can go through
Let's do that.
to still stay
Let's
connected.
Right. Snow, and that's through me.
Hey, long enough.
That's through me. I can still promote the podcast through my
And
page.
he does all the technical stuff anyway, so I'm like, I don't really need to be on there
The page.
anyways.
Yeah,
I
let's make a
mean,
page.
what am I
Let's-
gaining or
yeah.
losing from it?
It's all
Nothing.
You can make a page and then like share.
And to all my friends, if you ever wanna, you have permission to like post pics with me in it, so people still know I'm alive. So it's okay, right?
I like your
Like,
pictures.
yeah.
Okay, let's give out a couple more promotions. Snow, we have to do a podcast from the new Resorts World in Vegas.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
At the food court.
Phenomenal hotel. It's amazing.
I should have
At
gone.
the food
And the
court.
famous-
at the pool.
The famous food court, which is like set up like an Asian street market.
Oh,
It was
nice.
fabulous.
Yes.
I had never had duck before. I had this Peking duck street
Oh, wow,
tacos.
that's so good.
Duck's pretty good.
It's just fatty.
God, it's
Yeah,
it's good.
very fatty.
good.
I saw that picture. That was nice
It's
looking.
just amazing.
Yeah.
Then the next day, because I'm taking my older son to a bunch of concerts, so I'm like, I
which
want
is
to-
really amazing.
Yeah, everybody talks about what a good daddy you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But I want to take my youngest to something, and he goes, well, I want to go to a Mega Mart, which is a Meow Wolf.
Yeah.
and Meow Wolf is an art company based out of Santa Fe, New Mexico.
I've been to that one.
That
They're
one,
awesome.
That one, I watched the video. That one looks amazing. The house.
Yeah,
Right.
so they got this. They gutted an old bowling alley, and then they
Right.
turned it into a bunch of different
Not to
rooms.
give too much shit away about
So
the
cool.
story. About the
Yeah.
story. But yeah, that was in the video. They got out
It's
an old
just
bowling alley.
super weird. Like one of the rooms says sorry what we did when we were high. But yeah, when you walk into each of the rooms, you're like, these guys obviously were fucking high.
It's amazing.
They have like a lobster room.
So
Sweet. So like big murals.
Yeah, like lobsters.
Like
real life.
No, not real live ones, but like it's a red room and it's got like lobster decorations. They have a room that looks completely like a comic book, like the old Spy versus Spy. They have a room with like all eyeballs. They have like a This is in the Santa Fe one, the one that's in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I haven't been into the Vegas one.
So the one, the Omega Mart is in Area 15.
Right.
In Las Vegas, which Area 15 is, it's kind of cool on the inside. There's a bunch of...
What is it?
It's supposed to be the opposite of Area 51.
Okay, so what is it?
Right, and there's a bunch of different art stuff. There's this Van Gogh exhibit there.
Oh, I think he was trying to take me there.
This twisted thing that goes on. There's this virtual reality stuff. But there's Omega Mart. And Omega Mart was created by Meow Wolf. And it's like a supermarket... And there's products on the shelf. Some of them you can buy. You can actually buy the products there. But then you go through the back room and it turns into just mind-blowing shit. And it's just created by these artists. But it forms a mystery, a story. I'm not going to get into it too much to ruin it for anybody. But it's sensory overload.
Oh, shit. I don't know if I can handle it.
No. Yeah. Oh, if you go into high... If you go in the
he's pointing.
You'll be done.
He just called me up, but
is it interactive? Like,
yes.
But I did hang out their house. Like you open you can open everything. Like you can touch things. So like you open the washer. And there's a slide, and it goes down into another room, and there's all the clothes inside the tunnel.
But the detail on this is, you go into the back office and there's computers, workstands, and stuff like that. It feels like you're dropped into a movie. And you go to the computer and you're looking at files and you have a phone next to you, a rotary phone, but it says, well, dial this extension for so-and-so. And you dial it and you pick it up, you get somebody's voicemail. But it gets to the point where there are manuals and there are books set around to talk about marketing at Omega Mart. And you flip through the book, and it's a real book. Damn. I mean, just like every chapter. I mean, just a 250-page book.
Like a SOP, like a standard operating.
Right.
Was it busy? Or has it died down a little?
No, it was pretty packed. If I would do it again, I would do it during a weekday.
It was still busy in Santa Fe. I had to wait in line for over an hour to get in that motherfucker.
I didn't have to wait that long.
And it was during winter. I'm like, why are there so many people here?
It's just...
Because it's amazing.
I think I'm going to have to check this stuff out.
Blown.
No, hey, we can go. Yeah. Because Dane wants to go again because and the whole thing about it is there's a mystery behind it, and we're watching a video, and the mystery hasn't been solved yet. And what the creator said is, when people start realizing what the mystery is, we're going to add on to this to fully get you there. And we sort of got it a little bit. And then we came home, and then they give you like these, they give you an employee badge.
Okay.
And that you scan along the way. Well, as you're scanning it, it saves it to the card, and there's a QR code on the card, and you shoot a picture on your phone.
Yeah, it's like you're a supermarket worker, right?
Right, yeah. And then you go home, and then you can watch the videos, and you can try to solve the mystery, which hasn't been solved yet.
Wow.
Which is amazing.
These guys have to be geniuses.
The level of precision in the artwork are amazing.
What was that from?
It's called Omega Mart.
I thought it was a dream you had.
And
it sounded like a
I know it seemed like a dream.
How many of them are there?
There's
like
one
they don't go.
There's Santa Fe. There's
no,
Denver,
how many guys are there?
Oh,
or people that
it looks like a movie. The credits for a movie.
Oh, okay.
It's like that. There's probably 50 people.
Yeah, because they don't really tell you that either when you go to the Santa Fe one. Like, and you're like, this must have been quite this is a major production, number one.
Speaking of
a lot of hands on deck.
Solving mysteries, I recently bit on that hunt a killer thing that they advertise on Facebook where you get like a box with like a whole bunch of evidence.
Oh, yeah, I got one of those.
Did you?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah.
What the hell? We could be doing podcasts on hunting killers. What the fuck, guys?
I think we should.
I
haven't opened mine yet.
I didn't want to, our
I'm a huge fan of forensic files.
Let's do it.
Our original guest night couldn't show up, but because she overslept. But we were gonna do a whole thing on Brian Laundrie tonight, and but somebody didn't set their alarm. But
hey,
that'd be cool.
You're welcome to come on next week. Don't be mean.
Totally, you
I'm
should
not
come
being
on
mean.
next weekend. I hope I can be there too, because I want to get on that.
no, but
Reggae festival
but
on
you know
Saturday.
that last person I was dating that shall not be named. She
Oh.
gave me one of those
We're not
killer
talking.
packs. I still have it at my house.
I
Well,
have
why
should
haven't we
We should be
hunted the
doing it.
killer?
And I think they
we'll-
are
we'll do
actual
this as a
old cold
podcast.
cases. Like, I think the one that I got, at least, I don't know if it's the same one. It might all be the same for the first step, but it's like an old 30s theater murder.
I love.
I don't know. It's
20s
some blonde
flappers.
girl that got murdered, which is kind of like really just how it goes lately. Like the blonde girls always get to the top of the news. If you're a woman of color, then maybe.
And if you're indigenous, forget it.
There was a great bit on Saturday Night Live this week about they were doing the weekend update, and they had like colored woman who's been missing for 15 years, and I don't know. You would just have to watch it, but
It's just one of those things you got to see it.
but
Or they give them airtime on forensic files.
well, there was.
out there.
Did you hear about there was somebody that was murdered here in Kingman over by Centennial Park?
Delia Parker, I think was her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get those updates.
She came. She was at the fair with her family and left with a guy, and her mom said take care of her. And then the next early morning, she was found dead near Centennial Park
Holy
apartments.
shit, that's right where I live.
Wow.
I live
Yeah,
across the street from
I think it was kind of over by actually Heather's apartment. in
Yeah,
that
that's
area.
Centennial
Yeah.
Park.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm over by Beverly and Harrison.
Right, so you're down.
Heather is
down
in
there.
Centennial Park Apartments, and she was
Yeah.
found
Oh.
by Centennial.
Those
Are you on the other side of the 40?
Yeah. Right.
So,
literally,
yeah.
I could hear every truck every night and the thunder last night.
I hear trucks at night too. That's
Oh,
about it.
boom.
Or
Oh,
or not wolves,
Wolves.
coyotes.
Coyotes.
And I only hear the trucks of the Jake Brady.
That's a pretty good impersonation of the trucks. They do sound just like that.
I think because somehow they're like they hit this like bridge by my place. They go, "Wah." You're right. Do it again.
Podcast sounds
Yeah.
good.
Tricky's got mad skills on
The
truck
Jake
sounds,
Briggs.
semi sounds.
We have two pane glass windows, and I can still like hear shit. Especially the last crap.
We're kind of going unscripted here today because we had to kind of rearrange shit.
We always do whatever we want.
Yeah,
we're
off the
fucking
cuff and-
did.
And then next topic,
But-
roll it on out.
But no, let's touch on something, and Chris, I hope doesn't upset you by bringing this up, but you just lost your
Kitty
cat.
cat. Yeah,
Yeah.
10, 11 years.
Oh,
To
That's
you
hard.
think
I had a cat for 17 years.
17. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's even harder because it's like it's a family member, and we don't know what happened.
oh,
He basically just started having these coughs and like
heart.
yes, heart failure, and so
I know that because I lost my Jasper in February. Heart
I need
failure.
to get my kitty cat now on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was hard to make the decision to
Yeah.
see
It is hard.
euthanized and just see him. They just
MJ was there for me that day.
it's just like the eyes keep open, and I still like last night. I woke up in the middle of the night, like at 5 o'clock, and I see him usually come up on the bed after he gets up to have some food, and he wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult.
And hold on, I'll still sometimes cry, and it's been 7 months since Jasper's been.
I haven't had to have a cat since Biscuit was the name of the cat. And very similar. And I knew she was sick and she wasn't eating.
Suffering. That's the hard part.
She wasn't eating. And I came home, and she had some kind of tumor like up in this area by her nose.
Yeah.
And I came home and it had swollen up, and I noticed her teeth were dislodged. And I knew I had to make the phone call that night.
Yeah.
So I make the phone call to the vet, and I go around the corner. And I lived at a townhouse, and I'm like sitting on the stairs going to the upper floor, and I'm like crying. I'm like crying.
Of course.
Having to make this call, like, yeah, it's time. And the cat hadn't moved from my seat all day.
Yeah.
And I'm making this phone call, and I'm crying, and then all of a sudden I feel this little tap on my knee.
Aww.
And it was the cat, like going, hey,
it's okay.
It's gonna be okay.
It's time. It's okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Jeez, it's just...
And hey, I know that's a bummer subject, but Tricia just went through it in February. Snow went through it. What was it? Last year?
A few years ago, but it still sucks.
Yeah.
It's like
you think of you got to think of the good memories you have.
Yeah,
I have a whole memorial to Jasper.
Jasper, I love that name.
I have the world's biggest asshole dog, and Snow can attest.
Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah.
The one dog, two dogs that didn't like me. I was like, this dog will be fine. We'll be fine because dogs love me. Nope, this dog tried to eat my lunch.
Even when my asshole dog died, like that was the worst day ever. Like it was sad. It's like, because I was like one of the only people that liked him, that was like that understood him. Like I'm like, he's kind of like this because he had like a traumatic experience, so he's a dick. Now it's not easy.
That can get you in trouble.
That's the same thing with Rufus.
That's what happened my last.
Rufus,
when you watch him and they can't breathe, like it's hard to. You're like, it shouldn't happen to anyone though. Like where they can't fucking breathe.
That's
like
that's what happened to Noah. He was sitting there struggling to breathe in and out, and then when I would go to pet him, he would start purring, and it would be like 10 times worse.
Well, and it's like, so their lungs will fill up with fluid because at the end, like he was on Lasix,
yes,
my dog Jughead.
Yeah.
And so it kind of like flushes that out, but there comes a point where those
don't work.
They just no longer work anymore. And you're like, I remember I fed him in the morning, and then he went outside to go to the bathroom, and he comes running back in all happy. Mid-sentence just fell over and just could not breathe.
My bug...
Like, that's what happens.
My bug, Jasper, he was diagnosed with heart condition when I had him in surgery for bladder stones. And I think that was 2019 or 18. And, like... we kept him on medicine, and I fed him well, and I just loved on him and just kept watching for when it was time. And he made it all the way through the worst of COVID. I know he hung on for me, dude. I just know he did. And then February, he couldn't do it
Well,
anymore.
and the thing with the animals not being able to breathe, like I think they call it like congestive heart failure. So a lot of times it has to do with their teeth. Like, because
his teeth were great.
For some reason, my dog had like bad teeth. I would go and get his teeth cleaned, but like
some breeds are prone to it.
Yeah, they were like, and they're like, this is why like the plaque gets into the arteries.
Oh wow!
Jasper's teeth were so good.
Yeah,
but he just I don't know. He might have just been. I think my friend Bree. Shout out to Bree Alter Dogs. Alter Grooming. I can't remember exactly, but she's got a grooming business. Anyways, she told me that breed that Jasper most likely is prone to heart issues.
Because like dental issues can start intravenous poisoning. Yeah, we never know. Dogs and cats can't talk to us and tell them how you feeling.
And like I even asked the vet too. I was like, that wouldn't this happen to humans too? And she was like, oh yeah. She's like a lot of like health issues are related to that because it gets into the bloodstream. And then if it gets into the bloodstream, it can cause other problems. But I don't know why they're not more talking about that, like, in the medical community.
Because dental insurance isn't covered.
Right.
Well, yeah, and just versus, like, they want to, like, push all the pharmaceuticals. Like, they'd rather have people medicated than saying, no, like, this is, like, the real issue here.
I just heard something, again, we weren't supposed to be on politics, but I heard a senator, I think it was Klobuchar, talking about prices of prescriptions and Medicaid and whatnot, and Lyrica has gone up something like 380%, 86% in like 5 years.
Well,
and that's a medicine that I take.
Yeah, even if you take like the like basic insulin, okay, for diabetics, when it was first started, it was
$500 a month
used to be $1 because the
It's
person
necessary.
because yes, the person who invented it, the person who invented the drug said no one should have to struggle. You know, like this is unfair that this would happen to anyone. So they specifically only wanted the drug to cost like $1. And and like we can sit here and say that yes, we shouldn't be talking about politics, but I would just like to remind folks, you know, that like. But when we talk about stuff like this and we talk about like things that have to do with our pets and then we realize that those things can also go into humans and everything, what we don't understand is like so much of our life is affected by politics though too.
Although
you know,
we don't
like
want to talk about
even though yes, it's a boring fucking subject.
It's a contentious subject.
You don't want to do it. There's no winning in because the powers that be have done so well at the division.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
and that brings
and
it
it
back.
sucks.
It brings back the Facebook thing. Is that if you click on something, like if I click on Metallica video, my feed will be like Metallica.
Right.
So
even Google that
if
ties in.
And I try not to do it on Facebook. If I click on something political, it's going to give you your opinion,
only your side,
and only your side.
Yep.
Okay?
Right,
and that's
because of the algorithms. Like it knows what you like.
The entrenchment of the tribalism.
And if we talked about this a year ago on this podcast. If you haven't watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix, watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because that was the scariest documentary I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it shows how we're division. Now, in day-to-day...
Keith had to turn it off. He's like, I can't.
In the day-to-day life, like I said, I had a conservative roommate. We can discuss things. We can sit down and have a civil discussion. But on Facebook,
and you'll agree about things.
No, I saw somebody. Oh God, it was somebody famous say something about. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't somebody famous. I just think he's badass. One of my friends said, "Your Facebook balls are gonna get you punched in the neck." Because everybody thinks they're so tough and so righteous on Facebook, but you would never say that stuff to somebody's face.
You know,
no, not unless not unless they really provoked you like out
because you're all drunk or whatever.
But like, well, yeah, but like usually it would never come to that. Right. You know, like it's so
because you have
easy
empathy when you're sitting across from somebody, looking them in their face.
Right.
There's no way to disconnect from this is a human and this is how they truly feel and believe.
It's so easy to sit behind the screen and just be like, I hate this person.
Right, because basically we all want the same things. We want to be healthy. We want to be happy.
We want to be safe.
We want our family to be happy. Mm-hmm. Okay, we want to do well. We want to prosper. We want to do good in life. It's the same on both sides. It's just a different way of thinking.
A different road.
Like a different
route
a different means to get there. Because like I'm looking at like all the stuff that they're talking about right now where there's the huge fight about, you know, the stuff like what we were talking about earlier, the Medicare adding the dental, vision, and hearing to it, okay? So it's like, and how are we going to pay for all this stuff? It would already be paid for. Remember all those fucking tax breaks that the fucking billionaires got? Like,
Well,
I've been saying
Nobody
this for
ever
years.
asks about how
You
we're going to pay
guys,
for a war.
when there are tax breaks that happen, though, who do you think ends up paying for that? The money doesn't just disappear.
Well,
it falls on the fucking middle class.
On
If
that,
you're part of the middle class, you should be outraged.
on that note, Snow, last week at the fairgrounds, there was some group, I should have been prepared. I didn't realize we were going down this road. But there was some group, and they were offering free vision screenings, free dental work at the fairgrounds. And it was just not sold out because they were doing it for free, but the lines were out the door. Now, in the section of the country we're in a very red section of the
Rural
country.
And
America.
impoverished. Our
Okay.
median income
But-
is extremely low.
But there's no problem with everybody signing up to do that and knowing the demographic of this area. These are the same people that are posting on social media, fuck socialism. Well, what was going on at the fairgrounds was socialism.
where you were standing in line with
While
all
you
your
were standing
kids.
in line.
Basically, the way that you really should view socialism is kind of like
Making sure that we all get
it's
our
kind of
share
like, do
of
you
our
want the
taxes.
it's kind of like, do you want the government to work for those at the top, or do you want it to kind of work for all of us? Do you want to kind of take some of your power back, like that you have? Like, it's supposed to be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Why shouldn't
It's
the
about
people
corporations,
benefit?
and it swapped in the 70s.
Right. And you know,
I've been saying it's been turned into a government of the corporations, by the corporations, and for the corporations. That's what it
And
got turned
basically,
into.
America is a corporation.
and on that note,
It is. We live in a business.
Did you
we
hear,
don't live in a country.
Did you hear about there was a couple missing with a kid, and they were from Kingman,
Yeah.
and they went to Lake Mojave, and they were found in New Mexico. But on the Kingman pages, and this is just to say that the community rallies around things, that they found these missing persons in New Mexico, and they were safe. You know, hey, whatever.
Hallelujah.
Thank God to whatever God you pray to.
Or any god or no
Yeah,
god or
no
whatever.
God. But whatever. Hey, the moral of the story is they were
Yeah.
found. But the community rallied together, and we all found common ground. We like to look out after our neighbors. Basically,
Yep.
if something
Yeah,
happens to somebody in Kingman, like there's a family, say that the house burned down, you see this community, and this happens all across the United States. You see people rally around it. There's floods in Houston. People go out, take their boats, they go out, they rescue people off the rooftops. You're not looking at the political party of that person. You're just
You don't
going
say,
to
hey,
help that
how'd you
person.
vote in 2020?
Yeah.
Right?
Biden, no.
You-
no,
Right.
you
Keep on going.
Fuck Joe Biden. Yeah, you don't roll up on that person on the roof and go,
It
fuck
doesn't
Joe
matter.
Biden.
It's about helping people.
It's
Yeah.
about coming together. Yeah.
It's like-
as a
Because
community.
at the basic core, here's my psych popping out, but at our core, we need community. We need each other. Nobody can be an island unto themselves and be healthy.
There is no such thing, as much as people would like to believe it, like the whole rugged individualism is like, you guys, we are not a nation of Clint Eastwoods. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. That is like a
And even if
character
we
he
were
came up
Clint
with, Dirty
Eastwood, still
Harry.
had a community. He still had neighbors or a partner or somebody that he was
He
trying
learned
to talk
how
to.
to get you all need to watch Gran Torino. He learned
my
how
God,
to
I
love
loved
people
Gran
who were
Torino.
not even like him.
Right
and
in
this
the
is
movie.
Clint Eastwood doing that. So
Yeah.
come on.
Yep.
There's got to be a sense of community.
community, community, unity, and there's another word that goes with that.
Yeah, but are you wondering, did I fire 5 or 6 shots, punk?
You see
you
my
feeling
electric
lucky?
gun?
Are you feeling
Do you?
lucky? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
There's-
It's like
Yeah.
when people come together and do.
They
the
almost
right
named my
thing.
brother Clint. My mom didn't want him teased through school with the missing letter that would come.
but
Oh,
yeah.
I almost named my oldest Brady. Which congratulations, Tom, you beat the Patriots, but it was one hell of a game.
Huh.
Did you see it?
I didn't, but
Oh my
I think
God, it
I
was
picked
amazing.
the Bucks because I was like, I'm
What?
sure that the Bucks are going to beat the Patriots.
Shh, I actually picked the Bucks.
Okay.
The first time in 20-something years.
The Bucks
you're
have
more
Tom
loyal to
Brady
Brady.
and the Gronk.
No. I was rooting for the Patriots big time.
Although I don't think that the Bucks will win the Super Bowl this year. That's going to be my prediction.
Who do you think it's going to be? The Raiders were 3-0 this week.
No, the Raiders lost last night.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're becoming true to their form.
They've become, mere mortals.
Yeah.
The Rams look good until this week.
Rams.
Yeah.
The Cardinals look really good.
I know, but I don't know if the Cardinals can pull off the whole Super Bowl thing.
The 49ers don't look good.
No, I thought they were going to go downhill and fast. I was
The Chiefs don't look good. I mean, they look good this week, but they weren't looking.
But you know what? The worst thing about, we're going to get all football-y here.
Go
but
Tom Brady.
The Cardinals, 49ers, Seahawks, and Rams are like the hardest division. Look at some of those other divisions where you have like super shitty teams and they're like first place. I'm like,
we're looking at you, Dallas Cowboys.
right? You're like, dude, why is this division so freaking hard?
Although the Cowboys look pretty goddamn good this year.
I don't think they'll win. I don't really think they'll win the Super Bowl.
Right, so
it's too early to tell.
So have you guys ever had like a really bad roommate? And I'll start.
Mm-hmm.
I had, and this was, I forget what year it is. But anyway, I had this roommate, and he moved his girlfriend in. He's, we were the same age by the time I'm 29. His girlfriend was like 18. So he moves his girlfriend in. His girlfriend didn't work. And I had a handgun. Anybody need a drink? And we keep going. No, you realize that these microphones pick everything up.
Oh. Sorry.
Anybody out there need a drink? Now's the time to grab one.
Does anybody need a drink?
We could just
Does our
this.
audience need a drink? Okay. I was trying to be a good host.
I think we'll need a drink.
Roommate.
Okay. No, I don't need a drink. I'm still drinking that super strong.
I still have a
fruit
couple sips.
fucking thing that you
Oh, I
brought
thought that was root
over.
beer.
That was Dogfish Brewery.
I know.
It's kind of good.
Really, no, it's good,
It's like
but
6 grams.
really, really strong. Like
Yeah.
this is a strong fucking beer.
That's why you can only have
Oh,
one.
is that
of
what I
them.
smell over there?
Okay. Anyway,
Roommates,
Just
18-year-old.
roommates. Okay.
18.
Snow, get drink, and we'll continue while you're.
Oh no, I've got.
Okay. So everybody's good.
I was trying to be a good host.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to be the hostess with the mostest.
Yes, it is the mostest hostess.
I want
Beetlejuice.
I want some cookies right now.
We have no cookies.
I mean, powdered donuts. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
roommates.
So bad roommates. So
We have pizza.
I have some jerky in my bag. Girls always have purse food.
Pretty hot.
So I come home from work, and my handgun is missing.
What?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have it locked up bad on me, but I had it like on top shelf. And
But still, in your own home, your shit should be safe.
Right, exactly. And it turned out that they had taken because she was really in the pot. Not saying there's anything wrong with pot.
Did you say the pot? The pot?
The pot.
Were
Oh,
your
my God.
roommates the people in the opening scene from Pulp Fiction? I'm just wondering.
Probably.
Any of you pricks move!
Motherfuckers.
And I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you.
I have the unscripted version of that on DVD without all like the fancy shit crap stuff.
Dude, so fucking my
Sorry.
handgun is fucking
It's
missing.
pretty weird.
I tried to report to the police, and the police basically said there's nothing that we can do about it unless it turns out in a crime. I'm like, yeah, but if it turns out in a crime,
Well,
they're going to
that's
trace the
comforting.
serial number back to me.
That's catch
But whatever.
Like,
But
like,
this guy was a cook at Chili's. Okay, and what he did
Baby back.
what he did
I want my baby back, baby
what
back,
he did
baby
was
back.
every night he would bring stuff home from the freezer. So my freezer was full of Chili's shit.
Chili's.
So once I realized that my handgun was missing, I put the dots together. I had no doubt that they had done it. That they had taken the gun, probably sold it, brought it to Vermont, and sold it so they could get some fucking pot and bring it back. Anyway, I just called his manager and said, "Hey, I have a freezer full of Chili's frozen fruits. Now, suffice to say, you moved out the very next day.
You don't have a gun, and then you gave all your food away?
No, it wasn't my food. I wasn't eating stolen food.
But you're out a gun, and you're out the stolen food.
Stolen Chili's food.
Damn, I'm on a trip.
I know.
This is
this
I'm on a
is how
riot.
I'm
Anyway,
looking at things.
It's a way to roll into the next subject. Tricia, have you had a bad roommate?
Oh, man.
This is building up to the big reveal of
Climax.
I don't know.
I'll
Like,
go
I
last.
had like a recent thing where I couldn't get anything done cleaning wise because he would call every 5 minutes to make sure that I was at home and not cheating on the ranch with my family.
I see not.
And then when I would get something
we can address this. You know, we used to talk daily, and you know I haven't heard from you in like 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and then when I would get something clean, him and his son would not, like, just shit get spilled and nothing, like, not a reach for a towel or nothing. And, yeah. Paid nothing. I was never so poor, like, weed poor, food poor, money poor.
Freeloaders.
Eh?
They freeloaded on you?
With promises of, like, you know, happily ever after.
I once moved an ex-girlfriend from Boston out here to my place because she was in a rough patch, and I gave her, you know, I got another cell phone. I gave her my other phone. It turns out she was texting her ex-boyfriend, plotting to move back to Boston the whole time.
Goodness.
So what are you trying to say?
The reason I found out was because, you know,
I'm only emailing with mine. I'm not texting.
Because it's you know, because we're on the West Coast, so about 4:00 in the morning, the phone starts ding, 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 and she's still asleep. I wake up, you know, I just looked down at the phone, which was technically my phone to begin with. I wasn't snooping through her phone, and I see 27 missed messages from ex-boyfriends. And so I kind of woke her up and said, hey, what is this? You're going through my phone? I'm just like, well, it's technically my phone.
No, your phone won't shut the fuck up, and I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah. Chris, bad
Sorry,
stories?
Tim. I won't be sharing this with his mom after all this. She wanted to link to this cast. I won't be sharing.
Maybe wait till you get your hair done.
Hey. No, she can like email us at realityredemption@yahoo.com. Give us some feedback. We need some negative feedback. We need positive feedback, negative feedback, whatever you want.
Yeah,
contact us.
But I like you, Kim. So maybe not this time.
And she likes her braid.
All right, Chris.
Just
bad roommate stories.
7 roommates in a 3-story house in Corona, California. Right before I moved out here 4 years ago. 3 dogs that used to do their business inside the house.
You mean the business, like?
Yeah, like walk out.
Oh well, you know, like the business, not like
taking a crap.
orgies.
Taking a crap.
Oh no! Well, maybe when I was asleep. Was sharing a bathroom with like 4 like kids from 19 to like 25.
Never fun.
He was a good friend of mine, but it's so difficult living with a friend of yours. Especially when you're struggling, you're trying to get money and to pay rent and all that. And then he had a wife that was basically wore the pants. And then,
which there's nothing wrong with that. That works for you. Hey.
Right.
Yeah. So I moved out here 4.5 years ago just to be with my mom because she was really miserable. She came out to retire with her best friend and that thing fell through. Mm-hmm. So it's been 4 years of ups and downs, but the roommates, yep.
I don't think I would have roommates again.
Yeah, especially when you're a friend with that makes it.
Romantic partners are hard enough. At least you're getting good dick, hopefully.
This leads to this.
I know I was.
This leads to the story, and again, we're going to have to delve into politics a little bit. Due to the eviction moratorium.
The COVID moratorium.
Okay.
CM.
Snow has the worst horror story. We refrained for talking about this for 6 months.
The reason why I know the proper term of COVID moratorium, I've been to court 5 times with this person. Last time was the successful time where I actually won, which she probably thought she was winning the whole time. Have you all?
Wait, and to go back, when COVID started and people were getting unemployed, the government under the previous administration,
right,
started and it was.
And there are people who need it.
It was correct to do it.
There are people who need it. Don't get me wrong.
People were out of work, so you could not evict anybody.
Okay, and to be fair. Me knowing that, I'm like, yeah, that's why I was hesitant to start renting during the pandemic, because I'm like, that would suck, but I don't want to get stuck with somebody who can't pay, so I did not want to open my rental up.
But on that note, though, I think everybody at this table is empathetic people. And we tend to...
people need it. That's the point I'm making.
People tend, or if you're like me, you tend to look at, no, this person's not going to screw me over. This person, even though it happens time and time again. But
right.
I
You're
always
such a
look
good
at
person. They're not going to do that
yeah,
because they're going to recognize and be happy.
Okay,
right?
so
she works for the hospital. In this case, she works for the hospital.
Has a good job. She is an X-ray tech. Okay, not only was this person a freeloader, I'm going to ask everyone an important cinematic question. Have you all seen the movie Seven?
Mm-hmm.
Starring Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman?
What's in the box?
Okay, so my studio when she moved out was a mixture of gluttony and sloth. If you've never seen the movie, it's a serial killer movie based on the 7 deadly sins.
You know that scene? They go into this room and there's those
Christmas trees.
Christmas trees.
That one's sloth
because it smelled like death.
That's sloth.
I went in there a couple days after she moved out. It smelled like death.
That one's the sloth one. The movie starts out in gluttony, that's where they first
Spaghetti.
go to, and the killer made him keep eating until he
Exploded.
basically exploded from the inside. But yeah, sloth is another one. I really look at her like she's all 7 deadly sins rolled into one. Ooh. But what she left in there was the remnants of gluttony and sloth. She threw food against the wall. There was food everywhere piled up. She just decided to quit taking the garbage out.
Like a death scene or something.
Food piled up. She had alcohol just everywhere. And then her mom had the balls to come over here. My dad came and stayed with me for a little bit while she still was living here. She called the police on me because my dad was coming up here to try to get her to, he's like, you need to pay your rent. You need to pay your rent. And she's going to work that day. And she's like, you can't talk to me like that. That's harassing me. And then so she got mad, called the police on us one night because she said that there was too loud of volume of music in here. Jesus. None of my other neighbors called who don't even live in my house.
Yeah.
Did not call. So the police come out. I was still asleep because I had just had surgery at the time. So I was asleep and my dad's coming in and waking me up. It's hey, the police are here, blah, blah, blah. I guess the police had said, if we have to come back out here, we're taking somebody away. They made the insinuation somebody's going to jail. Yeah. And I'm then you need to arrest the person who called you because...
For no good reason.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, for no good reason, because
telephone harassment.
My dad was don't we have the right to watch TV or listen to music in our own home? And he's like, no, you do. And the police officer even was like, yeah, the music doesn't sound too loud to me. So anyways, like it got to the point, like I got so irritated with her that her mother, she called her mother after she called the cops. And like right out on my porch, like her mom starts talking to my dad and my dad goes, look, and I shouldn't use her name because she's already threatened to sue me for slander.
No.
But so he's like, look,
lady,
we'll call her Sally. Look, Sally.
Or Karen.
Yeah, Karen. We're calling her Karen. That's right, Karen. So he's like, look, Karen, can I ask you a question? Like, why would you write my daughter a check and then turn around and do stop payment on it? And she straight up looks at my dad and goes, because my daughter asked me to.
Oh.
And so right then and there, like I said, I had already had surgery, so I was not in a good fucking mood.
Yeah.
And I go,
Last thing you want.
I go, it's not surprising. You've been busted for writing bad checks before. So then she like totally gets, and I knew what she was doing the whole time. I knew she was recording. Like, so where does my mind go? Like, if you're going to record me and come up on my property and record me, I'm going to fuck your stuff up so you can't do anything with it. Like, that's what I'm going to do. You know, like you think you're going to come and record stuff. Might as well fuck with you, say some stuff I've always wanted to say to you for all these months that your daughter's been freeloading off of me. So I go, you've written bad checks before. And she's like, I've never written a bad check in my life. I go, you might want to go look at your record because you're on record for writing bad checks.
Right.
You can't talk to me like that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm literally telling you that it's on your record that you've been busted for writing bad checks. Go look at your record. It's public knowledge.
Right, and you had gone on one of those sites, and you'd gone
a
criminal background.
So I already knew that she was a bad check writer.
Now, the other thing to add to this, that during the middle of summer when we were 100 degrees for 3-4 straight weeks, she would leave her doors open.
All the doors
AC
open in the studio, and every single light turned on. Like doing it on purpose, just to charge me. You're not paying rent, but yet you're mad because I started the eviction process on you. Yeah. So you're going to charge me a ton, and you want all the utilities to go up because you know, like that I rented it, utilities included.
Right, and there was no legal recourse for Snow to do anything. And how many months did this go on? She
freeloaded off of me for 3 months. That's what
Now, the one thing on the moratorium was you had to make an effort to pay your rent.
And you also had to file for help through DES.
Which she did not do.
We went to court. I was the only one who filed. We went back to court a couple times. I'm like, she still hasn't filed. They kept letting her get away with it. The judges did.
There was nothing you
could do. The judges were like...
The judges' hands were basically tied because of the language of the law. Well, in fairness
to the judges, too, because it's such a new issue and they don't live with it
There's
themselves,
no precedent.
They don't understand... And this is shitty for me to say about judges, but they don't understand the whole process. Like, they have... Like, you'll go in there to the courtroom and I'm like, no, this is what they're telling me on when you call and talk to them. That doesn't matter to them. That like they're going by, they're like, well, but they have to be unbiased and whatnot.
In all fairness to them, though, the law was changing every single day. It was flipping back.
Well, right. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say too. I'm not really mad at the judges, you know, for what they did. You know, like allowing her to continue to freeload off me. I'm like, it's frustrating though when you're going through it because I'm like, but she's not making any effort to try to even file for. She just said, I've been affected from COVID and just expected people to leave her alone after that.
Right.
And it's like, she didn't try to file for any sort of assistance. Nothing.
You know, this goes back to, we weren't going to get political, but we did tonight.
Yes.
But the argument on one side is, well, the system is based for freeloaders, and they are those cases. Like this was clearly a case of a freeloader. But not everybody in that situation
it's not okay. I would have won this case hands down the first time I went to court if it was not for COVID. Like, there's no way, because I did everything I was supposed to do. I did the whole file for, like, pay it. You need to pay in 5 days or leave. Mm-hmm. But then she turned around and tried to claim COVID hardship right at the end. Mm-hmm. Like, then once you do that, once you claim the COVID hardship, the judge literally said to us, I can't even, there's nothing else I can do. This has to go through DES now. Oh, wow. And he specifically told her and me, she's like, he looked at her and said, you need to go file through DES because your landlord has the right to be paid for you living there. And you, and he's speaking to me, you need to work with DES and do whatever they tell you to do. She just kept saying, oh, I've been trying to file. And she'd lie every time she went to court. And they would let her get away with it. They would let her. They were like, all right, well, she's going to file this time.
Well, one thing I'd like to just say really quick is that, you talked about having judges, lawyers, whatnot, mental health officials having that experience in life. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that are going to understand better. The ones that go by the book, the ones that just don't have any life experience with people that have had, mental illness and therapists that have been there, done that. That's such a huge thing. So that's what I just wanted to kick in real quick is those,
No, you're exactly right. Like touching on the mental illness thing. So like when her mom was on the porch and harassing and whatnot, and at one point I got so mad because I was
in pain, on pain medication.
Yeah, right. And my dad did apologize to them the next day, but I got so sick and tired of listening to her lie on the porch, and I go, why did you even have her? And she goes, no, because, well, and I'll get to the reason why I said that to her too. It's like, and she goes, her mom got all mad. She goes, I've had all my children, unlike you. How many abortions have you had? And I'm like, it's a little hard to have an abortion when you can't even ever get pregnant. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, I'm like, lady, how can you go in there to where your daughter lives and you're sitting there telling me that you're so concerned with your granddaughter not being able to live in there because the temperature is too hot or whatever? I'm like, but it's okay for your granddaughter to live in that filth? I'm like, and you can't tell, yes. Like when I went in there and cleaned it out, like, I mean, there was alcohol bottles. Like she bought one of those, there's like this huge bucket that she had then had gross rotting food in afterwards, but probably. It was like one of those 99 bottles bucket. It was the party bucket. Oh, she had that, and she had the little bottles all like she was just in there on her days off, just downing the alcohol and then just like throwing. Like I was making jokes. It's not funny though. It's like she would like, oh, you order Domino's pizza, then what? You take a bite and then you're just like, I'm done with you, and throw it against the wall.
Across
I mean,
the room
that's what it looked like in there. And I'm like thinking, what is wrong with your mother though to not be like,
clean your
you're going into treatment, like you're like you are. There is something seriously wrong. Like part of me today still even feels bad for her. I'm like, she clearly has major issues. Like nobody lives like that. No one. Like all of us get a little lazy where we don't want to do our dishes right after dinner. Okay. Right. But never to that point where you're just like, I'll just let it fill up my whole, like it was hoarder status,
I was gonna say,
but with garbage.
Booze and garbage.
Straight up garbage, like old food that had mold growing on it, just garbage. And you're like,
That's not
you
helping. Yeah.
you need help. And then like that's why I said that to her mom too, because I'm like, your daughter is basically fucking drunk. Like what? Why would you even have a kid? And then clearly your daughter has these issues because you are such a shitty parent. Like you've never been there. Clear. I mean, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, like there's no intervention.
Someone who's let their kids drown their entire life,
or just spoiled them the whole time,
right? Like total enabler.
Enabler. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that goes back to especially this area that the mental health in this area is horrendous.
The whole country, but in rural pockets are real bad.
Yeah. Because therapists, they come and go.
Well,
and that's
for example, you spend so much money to get your license to be an actual counselor, so much money in in education and then testing and not working for your full value. And then you come here and they are like, oh, we might pay you $75,000. When if you just go three hours down south, you're going to make twice that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, they come here for the residency, kind of their training.
Right. Well, yeah, because they get money off their student loans if they do a certain amount of time in an underprop.
And this goes across the board from nurses to doctors to mental health care workers across the board. And
that's why we can't keep good doctors in the area because you start looking at it that's why I feel called to go and get my clinical psychologist, designation at some point because I am in a situation where I'm set up.
You should though. You'd be good at it.
I have my parents have told me I can live where I live for as long as I want to live there. I don't pay rent. I don't pay utilities. So $75,000 a year is going to be $150 to me anyways,
So you say your parents are socialists?
They would hate to hear that said.
But you sound like you've been there, done that. Yeah, you can understand. And that's the biggest thing that I like to see is people getting into healthcare work, that have been around people, they've experienced bad issues, and they've learned from it.
Yeah,
they understand the patients that they're going to start to see,
right?
More than someone that's just there. Well, I've had my life has been so amazingly perfect, and I have had no problems.
I remember when my first I don't know if it was a break or whatever, but it felt like a break. I was very young, and I went to Mojave Mental Health when it was still behind where In-N-Out Burger is. And there was a guy named Dr. Head, and he looked like he was 50-something. He was bald, he's skinny with these glasses, and I just knew the dude had never done a thing in his life. He was not going to know what I was talking about, have no empathy for me. And I was just I can't even. Just give me some pills and I'll go my way.
But if you started in psychology, because I looked into it,
I have my bachelor's so far.
Yeah, I'm due to retire in a few years. So I was like, maybe I want to go back to school and do a whole thing, and I've always been interested in psychology. I like taking psychology
give back to
in community college.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it fascinating the way that the human mind works. But when you're first starting out in the field of psychology, if you just do 2 years, so you can start after the 2 years of just being a counselor, in order to get all the way up to psychologist or psychiatric or whatever, you'd have to do 7
it's a lot of
plus years. But I mean,
MD.
even if you started and then just
it's actually a PhD.
kept working along the way, after 2 years, that would.
But see, and I have the luxury. I don't even have to do that. I don't want to work for one of the big two in town because one of them's worse than the other, but they basically force their people with associate's degrees to work as people who would have at least a master's degree.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about Mojave and Southwest?
Yeah.
Especially
former.
I'm not going to name names, but my kids are enrolled with one of the two of them, and
they're constantly changing their.
No, yeah, they were constantly upping the medication on it, and I was trying,
not getting any therapy, actually.
No, well, I can't exactly say that. I don't want to say too much, but
You're saying no, yeah.
That's why if you go like the counselor route though, because you have to have a certain degree in order to actually do the prescribed medication.
Okay.
So
Well, nurse practitioners can do that.
The only thing that I'll say here is their mom is also a patient there, and they were going back to decisions about the medication going to the mom, and I'm like, wait, the mom's a patient here. Don't you think, as the other parent, that I should have input on these decisions about upping medication? Because it was just constantly upping. And the mom, who is on medication, I'm not going to say why, but I don't necessarily believe medication is always the right answer.
it's not.
Nope.
Most medications have side effects.
Goodness gracious, I can tell you some horrible
And
stories.
there was one time where I had
Medication should be used for bridge.
I had a little
for
more
gaps.
input on decision-making progress, and I started to wean them off the medication, and I wasn't noticing a difference, good or bad, with them. The behavior was just maintaining. I'm like, well, maybe they don't really need this, because I don't believe at a young age
You shouldn't. I don't think
that we should get
No.
people hooked on this medication that they'll be taking for life.
No, and psychiatric medications are far more dangerous. Like you said, when you're sitting there talking about how you were weaning them off, that's good that you at least wean them off.
Right,
Exactly.
because most mass
If you
shooters have been
quit-
done by people who quit.
Or if you quit
Right.
cold turkey, though, I know someone who died. Their
Right.
mother
Yeah.
died
Mhm.
from just because she was like, I don't want to take my medication anymore. Like, I don't think that it's right.
You can't do
She fucking died. Like
Yeah.
after, because it's such a strong medication, you
It
can't
is.
just completely cut it off. Like
It's
you
like-
have to go down in
It's
steps.
like alcoholics, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
And, we can't just stop drinking one day.
And this facility, though, to go back to it, would constantly go from, okay, you're right, maybe you should be more involved, and they would get me more involved, but they would always go back to leaning away from that and going back to the mother, who's a patient, because they're more familiar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's very frustrating as a parent. I'm not saying that the token of mental health either. I'm just saying that I think that I had the capability of making these decisions, maybe with a little more clarity than the mother.
Well,
Yeah.
I went one time to and he was I think if you're a psychiatrist, you can prescribe the meds,
Medicaid,
and
yeah.
if you're a psychologist, you
Just
can't.
You're just like, hi. what are
Right,
you
you're
doing?"
like
And,
you're like a top therapist.
And to preface this, mental health awareness is a very important topic.
No, it is. But also,
there is no shame in seeing a
okay, but
therapist.
just talking this is the point I'm trying to make though, is like I went to a psychiatrist doctor because I didn't know what was going on. I got put on medication from what I had told this doctor, was like, okay, you need to go on this medication. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll try this your way. And then, and they ask you a bunch of questions to try to figure out what's
Are you
wrong with you,
feeling
to
better?
find out what medication you're going to get prescribed. And it was like antidepressants and Xanax. And
Yeah.
I still have some of the Xanax, and this is from like 2004. Like,
Yeah,
I
buy those
don't
from you.
even want to take all of it, right? Right? No, but I mean, like, every
Right,
once in a
right.
while, I'd take it if I was like, if you have a panic attack.
Exactly, and they won't
Because
prescribe it to me because I'm pain management.
And that's
but I
the
have
only
PTSD, and that's the only thing
thing
that stops.
that will calm
once
you
you're
down
into
and
a panic
allow
attack.
you to go to
I'm
sleep.
sorry, yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel
So, but I told him, like, so he had put me on the Lexapro, and I was like,
Oh,
I
that's
don't,
so bad for you.
And I go like this. I go,
anti-boner pill.
and I go, dude, I don't like this. Like, I went to the doctor, and
it
I
has
go,
a black
I
box warning.
so I was complaining to him. I go, I don't want to be on Lexapro. I go, the other week, like, I had a dream that I was at my own sister's funeral, and I was like above it, and I could see the whole thing proceeding.
crazy.
I'm like, and it was fucked up and I don't want to have, normally I don't have any dreams or I don't remember them. I'm like, and I don't want to live like this. So he's like, all right, fine. Then we'll wean you off of it. This is what you need to do in order to wean yourself off. He goes, and after this, he goes, you need to go find a therapist because if you just have decided that you want to go the route where you're just going to talk to somebody, I can no longer help you. This is literally what this man said to me. And I go,
that's
it was like, if you're not willing to take pills, get out of my office. Like, I'm done. Yeah. And I'm like, but I'm not saying that I don't need help. I would feel more comfortable maybe like just talking about things. If you're not willing to take medication,
they don't want to talk.
I'm not helping you.
They don't want to talk.
It's too much. He's done. It's too much. So this is what I'm trying to say about mental health awareness. Like, some of the doctors that get into this, I don't know why they get into it because it's like,
all they want to do
you're not really committed to helping people.
But you wonder, like, did they start out with good intentions, like the politicians? Like, did they start out with a white hat and then they just get lazy or burnt out?
Do doctors get a kickback though from how many prescriptions they write?
Big pharma does.
I don't. No.
No, I started seeing a therapist because of my high blood pressure and the incidents I went through earlier this year.
Yeah.
And because I was out of work, and it's kind of a shame that you're out of work and now you can afford. Hey, now you can go see a cardiologist because you're unemployed. Now you can get the medication that you need for your high blood pressure because you're unemployed. Now you can go see a therapist because you're unemployed. So I started talking to a therapist. I was being really honest and open with her, and she was just like, you really have a good handle on what's wrong with you. And I'm like, yeah, but
how do I fix it?
Yeah, that doesn't explain how I got here. I know what's wrong with me.
How do I stop doing the same things over and over and over again?
Help me, I'm grasping.
It wasn't this Tony Soprano thing that I was going through that was lost. I'm like, look, I know I'm here. I know what's wrong with me. But tell me how to fix this constant bullshit that I'm in.
It's so difficult, though.
Every time I go enroll in a new service.
But she was like, I think we're done here. You've got a handle on it. I'm like, no, we haven't even scratched the surface yet.
You're like,
have I told you about my dad yet?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, maybe, Tricky, you should go into this field, because I've always felt like if I'm going to go talk to a counselor, I would rather have it be somebody who has already had these struggles. Like I'm so sick and tired of going and sitting in front of a doctor or whatever, like the gentleman that I had sat in front of, and it's like he went and studied in books and like, oh, this is what you do for this type of mental illness, and I need to give you this paper, and you like make marks on it, and then that will tell me what you are, and blah blah blah. But they don't really understand it. Like they don't really understand mental illness, like what it's like.
Yeah, but understanding can get you in some bad situations.
And I can say for a fact, not to get into anybody's situation.
No, but you need to be a recovered person from it.
All four of us here at this table have been in a bad place at some point.
Yes, sir.
And we can rely on each other to talk to each other to try to help us through it. But it's the mental health professionals that we should be relying upon, and they kind of just treat you like, it's a textbook paint by numbers kind of thing.
But what's going on is, especially in this area, they have such a high caseload. Yeah. And they're forced to do the job that they are not educated yet to do. So your bachelor's program I just finished up was all about the history of psychology and the different types of theories. It didn't go into any actual practice or abnormalities or like how to identify certain things. And I hear that that's what comes out in your master's program, and that when you're working through your master's program, that's when you usually heal whatever unhealed shit you've got going on. Because most people in the field do have shit going on.
You got to go through the basics of the books first, I guess.
Right. But in our area, they take people with associate's degrees and make them peer counselors, and they take people with bachelor's degrees and make them the people who are the case managers, who are the ones who do the talk therapy in our area, because nobody in our area, there's like one counselor at the big one in this area, one counselor that actually has a master's degree in counseling.
Right, and in this area, not to rag on this area too much, is there is a high level, whether it's drug abuse, alcohol abuse, homelessness, whatever it is, there's a high level of mental illness in this particular area,
And,
whether it's financial issues,
Right.
whatever it is.
and
Our whole county only has 2 clinical psychologists.
Yeah.
The whole county, only 2 clinical psychologists, and neither of them can practice because they're overloaded with court cases. Because you have to have a PhD, you have to be a clinical psychologist to testify in court as to somebody's well-being, as to what kind of, if they should be let off or put into a treatment facility. Or so these people who have the most degree, the most education, who could actually start to finish, maybe heal somebody, can't even practice.
And I find it hard to believe that, like, people who... You would think that everyone that, like, gets into the psychology field, it's because, like, they had issues and they were also drawn to it. But then maybe they have the whole symptom thing, like the, well, shit, if I'm relating it to now times, like the Kirsten Cinema thing where, like, they used to, like, understand it. And now they're just like, I'm above it. I'm fucking, I know what this is, but, like, because there's something about it, like, you'll go into some of their offices and they're just, like, they have this thing where they look down on you, but there's no way that the reason that they got into, like, psychology, like, what would even attract you to
help
weird
people.
things?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I mean,
to help
because,
people.
like, dealing with the mind, there's, like, many of open doors,
so
many doors that you could open and go through.
not easy.
Like, who would be attracted to that unless they didn't have issues themselves? I've always felt that about psychology.
I mean,
Yeah,
hey,
me
I'll
too.
be the first to say that I have issues, but I think as a friend and giving advice, I think I'm pretty goddamn good at it.
Well, that's what
You
I'm
are.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't you feel like if you had free reign to go to college, like,
I wouldn't do that.
So you don't think that you would be successful at that, though? You're like,
probably
hey,
well,
I could probably go into that field and I could, like,
that's why
help
we
some
started this
people.
podcast.
I could
is to
be-
do
I
that.
can say number one, like, he has helped me so much in getting through with the death of my kitty cat and other things.
Yeah, I
you know,
mean,
even before that.
there's such
See, like,
such
you're
nice
good
words.
at talking to people, but that's
See,
the
this
point
is
I'm
the
trying to
problem.
make.
With people
Like-
like he and I, as we're great at talking to people, but hearing and doing what we're saying to applying it to ourselves is like there's like blockage.
And I guess we'll
Yeah, but if
we'll
you're
kind of start to
sitting
wrap
there
it up
in
on
front of
this.
somebody, it doesn't really matter about how your life's going. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to have a perfect life and know everything and
No.
blah,
Right.
blah, blah,
No,
in
but
order
it-
to counsel other people. You have to have, like, made it through other steps to where you're like, okay, I feel like I at least have a good grasp on the way that I should look at this.
Right, because my
and
PTSD
approach
will
it.
never go away. I mean, PTSD, unless you,
Right.
there's certain treatments that you can get, but they're not available in our area that have had some success in healing PTSD. So my PTSD is based on my demographic and where I am at socially, economically, being a female, heavily tattooed. My likelihood of being healed of my PTSD in my lifetime is very slim. But
my likelihood, I've never experienced PTSD until recently, and I don't think I'm ever going to be healed of that.
right.
Like, yeah, getting that fucking COVID test, dude. I don't understand why motherfuckers wouldn't rather just get the vaccine. I'm like, why would... I swear to God, I thought that I got, like, no. If I even sit there and remotely think about what happened, I'm like, that was, like, a worse violation than anything else I've ever experienced.
Mhm. Man.
Like, it was terrible. Terrible. Have you guys had the COVID test?
No.
Where they shove that thing up your...
To me, it wasn't that bad.
No, it was awful.
No, I mean, mine, I mean, it was the same, but I don't know.
Fucking awful. Like, for 4 days, I freaked out over that.
Yeah, that's what I would probably do.
For like 4 days.
I think
I can still smell the smell of it. Like the...
I think just to go back to the mental health awareness, I think as, people, society, Facebook friends or whatever, friends and shit, with Chris, that I recognize he was struggling, just by a post, just by the wording of it, and having to do with the cat, which is...
Not only that.
But
that was just the struggle.
But we don't even want to get into everything. Yeah. But all it takes is a message like, dude, hang in there. It's going to be okay. And, I know we've all done it.
But that's what he's trying to say. That's what the point we're trying to make. Like, if you're a person who has, like, that soothing type personality, then that would be an appropriate thing for you to go into. We were talking about this, about the whole field. Like, if you had free college to go somewhere.
But I know Chris and I have done it. You and I have done it. Snow and I have done it.
If your fairy...
We did it about you for months.
Came down and said, I'm giving you free college.
We did it about you for months.
Yeah, I know. Talk about me and what's wrong with me.
It's just nice to have someone reach out that you haven't talked to in a while, maybe. And they reach out to you. It doesn't matter because you reconnect really quick.
And I guess the point, we didn't want to go down this rabbit hole tonight on this podcast, but we have all been here mutually for each other.
Going down rabbit holes, though, are important. Like,
some good listeners going to be like, hey,
you're not supposed to.
Yep, right there.
If
someone hears something they can identify with, no matter if it's 10 people, one person out of 10 person.
I guess that was the intention of starting this podcast, a year and a half ago at this point, or something like that. And, we sort of accomplished that.
I hope we're at least, like, somewhat counselors to some of our listeners out there.
Like, unofficial counselors.
I hope we at least help people. I mean, every once in a while. Maybe not every podcast, because some of them are kind of silly, but...
Even that, you need levity in this life. Like, this life's hard. You need a laugh. You need
the ones that are on mental health. I always hope that, at least one thing helps.
Right. And the one thing is to acknowledge that, that none of us are invincible, and we are.
And all of us sitting at this table, people outside looking in think we're on top of our shit, that we're the funny ones, the happy ones, the ones that got it all nailed down. And that's just what you need to remember, is it don't matter what you think about somebody or how they look. Everybody's human. Everybody has a bad day. Be nice. Just be nice.
Really,
in
reality, stand up.
Don't be a dick, right?
Stand-up comedians, and this isn't bullshit. Stand-up comedians are some of the most depressed people.
Look at Robin Williams.
Yeah, Robin Williams.
Like that's that whole, that Smokey Robinson song, "The Tears of the Clown." I mean, that's what that's about. Like, that's about somebody who seriously is fucking really struggling, but
a lot of good musicians
fakes it.
Good at faking it. Even not so great musicians. Like tonight, I met some really good people that, they write some amazing stuff. And but
sometimes, like Chester Bennington is like,
look at all that
one.
Why the fuck didn't we see that one coming?
I know.
That one gotta be like, just hit me. Like, if he can't handle it, why? Like, he had so much, like 6 kids, fame, fortune, a beautiful wife,
that is amazing.
And he fucking. Like, why, if he couldn't hang in, why am I bothering?
That doesn't mean
Chester
anything.
Bennington, though, was molested as a child. Like, that's
who
what
at this table wasn't.
That's what a lot of the songs are about,
10 years old,
Like, that's what, like...
3, 10... Yeah.
He went to my high school.
Just stuff like that.
I didn't know him. Like, I was too old to know him, but my sister. But like
Kurt Cobain, when the Kurt Cobain thing went down, it was just like, it wasn't a surprise.
But if you listen to like Kurt Cobain's songs, like, there's a lot of them that are like like he has a song. He literally has a song. I hate myself and I want to die. Like that's.
But
somebody
he had,
that's struggling.
you know what was going on? He was diagnosed with anxiety and depression as a young kid and put on psychotropic drugs, and it caused stomach problems that were so horrible that he ended up medicating with heroin.
Right.
Because that's the only, and I tell you what, having been somebody who has gone through stomach issues and then had a gap between surgical pain medication and pain management, I was a pubic hair away from trying heroin myself at 40 something or other because the pain was that bad.
Well, yeah, and if you have certain health issues, there's
doctors are
there's tons of things that might like make you want to like if you had
what saved me was dabs.
But I mean if you had a thing like his suicide made perfect sense to me. Not that I thought that it was a good thing that he did, but I'm like, if you're gonna like live in pain every day from whatever your stomach issues were, but the fact that you have to wake up every day and deal with them, I totally fucking get that. Like, I get that. Like, I did not really I'm a person that I don't have a huge problem with, state assisted suicide because I'm like, I don't.
We do it for our pets.
That's exactly how I feel. I'm like, we don't like, and I've done that with my pets. I'm like, I'm not going to
watch you be in pain and
I'll sit there in the office in complete tears. I mean, it's a sad thing, but it's like
it's the gift that you get
about
at the
dignity.
End. Yeah.
It's about like human dignity, or I guess you can't really call it human dignity. You can call it human dignity if you're dealing with your pets, because you think of them as humans too. But it's like, I don't have a problem with that. I don't want to see anybody kill themselves, but I'm like, if they feel like they're in that much pain, like, sometimes it is appropriate. Like, no, everybody should try to stick it out. But, I mean, this guy had severe pains. Like, I mean, I remember the first time that he had tried to commit a suicide. And then, like, the whole thing with the strawberry milkshake. Do you remember when that happened? Like the months before he actually committed suicide, and he was talking about how
an overdose and
all he wanted was his strawberry milkshake or something, and then it came out that he had like all these stomach issues, and that's kind of what that song "Penny Royalty" is about, because that is known to be like a stomach soother. Or it's like, if you have to like live like that, and you're like, I mean, it becomes a burden or a pain in the ass. I mean, I understand it. It's not that I fully agree with it, but I get it.
Yeah, I always said if I blew my connection and had to wear a bag and like a feeding tube the rest of my life, it wouldn't be a long life. Like, I'd be making good with everybody, having a party and being like, okay, folks, I'm done.
Yeah.
My dad, before he passed away, he came out here, and what he wanted to do was do a road trip across America and see, all 50. Well, no, he didn't get to make all 50 states, but back and forth. Anyway, regardless, he knew he had heart issues, and he basically told me, a year before that it got really bad. And we'd gotten 21 Pilots that night when I got the phone call that he was going to hospice, and 21 Pilots played this song called Taxi Cab, which is about passing away. And they dedicated it to his dad. And it was just like music is like a sign from, I'm not going to say God, because I don't really believe in God, but a higher power.
Creative force.
It was just this message that was made for me that 21 Pilots dedicated this song about passing away. They're going to dedicate it to their dads that particular night that I get the call that my dad is going to hospice. But regardless, a year before, my dad went on this cross-country trip, and he sat me down and said, look, I know I have this. I know I can get surgery, but I don't want to do it. Okay, I'm 74. I've lived a good life, and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, it's kind of like a dog when a dog knows it's going to pass away, it'll just wander away into the woods and just pass away on its own.
And it will.
And
it's true.
That's what my dad wanted to do. God, this fucking got heavy fucking tonight.
We didn't know it was going to take such a turn.
Yeah, we didn't know it was going to go here. Apologize. But it's important to talk about this shit sometimes.
We'll be more animated next week.
Well, it is, and two, we didn't get to have that many episodes during September Mental Health Awareness Month, so it kind of carried over.
And to tell you the truth, part of that was, my mental health was, there are times when I'm not prepared to turn on these mics and talk about shit, and I just don't have the energy for it. I don't have, whatever's going on in my head, I especially if we talk politics, you just go, oh no, I don't want to talk about this.
I think we should always talk about it, though.
I've been absent for a long time because I allowed myself to get backslid in my mental health.
All right, so we probably should wrap this one up. We're going a little bit longer than we thought we should. Chris, you doing all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a little heavy there.
I did.
You doing all right?
Yep. Yes and no.
Hey,
if you want to say anything,
or if you don't want to say anything, but
I'm good.
Hey, we're glad you came on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Last minute, hey, ran into you down at the wine bar.
Right.
What do they call the wine bar now?
Cellar Bar and Wine something or other.
Okay, it's under new ownership.
It's not
from Deanna.
Deanna, yeah. It's
Diana.
Yeah. Deanna. It's
who owns it?
Jeremy Foss.
Jeremy Foss, who owns the place out in Havasu.
Jeremy's Jukebox.
Jukebox.
I went to school with Jeremy.
Yeah. So he owns, him and his wife own that now.
And and Brad does his open mic.
It's every other Tuesday, yeah. Tonight and then 2 weeks from now.
Always good time. But it's good having you on, and we're gonna have you on some more and talk about some more.
Yeah, for sure.
Shit.
Me and Shelly maybe talk about relationships or relationships, as I like to say it. Can I say that?
I mean that was the original intention of this.
I was looking forward to that therapy session, actually.
When Snow and I started this podcast, we had started wouldn't it be cool?
Thought we were going to talk about narcissists.
Wouldn't it be cool if we did a love line, an updated love line?
Yeah, remember that? Back in the day?
From back in the 90s, 80s, 90s.
I used to be a phone
whatever
I used to be a phone screener.
So that was the original intention of it. But when COVID happened and the Donnie dollars went out, the Donnie bucks got me the availability to get the equipment and really start it. It was a really political time, so we started talking about politics.
Well, George Floyd popped off there.
George Floyd was actually happened right when we were launching.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first episode.
Chris just said that he was a call screener.
Through Love Line back in the 90s.
What did I say about we should have calls come in, but we need to screen them?
Yeah, but
me and my friend Scott.
That's hard doing a podcast. It's hard to do a live podcast to have people call in.
You start to,
that would be awesome.
We could get a camera and do a Twitch thing.
But they do it on. They did it on radio shows. They always did the I don't know why we couldn't do that. We could figure it out.
They would call up.
Maybe if we got enough sponsorship from Bootsy's Delta Funk, we could hire a producer.
My friend Scott Barrett. He does a live thing every week with his the guy he's producing.
Okay, Scott Barrett. Contact us. RealityDempster@yahoo.com.
I'll see what he's up to. I don't know how they do it. He plays some songs, but he watches a live chat. It's either you can do that on Twitch, you can do that on.
No, we could technically do a YouTube. We could do this on YouTube Live. Yeah. While we're broadcasting, recording, and look at the live comments.
It's like he just has 10 to 15 people on there.
It basically, we're not Joe Rogan and we don't have that kind of audience.
No,
yeah.
But it builds up.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. Hopefully we're doing that. Hopefully we're building it up a little bit. And, cool. But thanks to you. Thanks to Tricia for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Snow, for doing this always.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bootsy's Delta Funk.
And remember, everyone deserves a shot at redemption.
Right. And,
Everyone.
And if you're struggling, if you need to talk to somebody, always reach out to somebody. And, there's always somebody that is there that's going to listen.
Yeah.
Even if they dip below the radar at times and you think that they're not there for you, but they are there for you.
That wasn't directed anywhere.
All right.
See, Snow and I, we have to have phone calls and stuff and meetings and shit together, and about what we're gonna do, but those are our therapy sessions,
Yeah, don't be giving away our whole show idea on the air.
Come on, this is reality redemption. We talk about this shit anyway. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Bye.